Hi, it's Sandra Alexander. I'm a speech therapist, mom of a young adult with autism, and wanting to share things from my Hana with you. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. We're going to talk about community living after high school, and let's get into this. So, community living, as you can kind of see from here, and plus we all live in a community, but it reflects the right of everybody to live in an integrated way, helping each other, but also being able to take care of themselves, going to school and shopping and working and enjoying recreation, and all having the opportunity to partake thereof, so to speak. We want that for all of our kids and ourselves. So, when thinking about your son and daughter after high school with autism, what are you optimally seeing them do? We want them, of course, to have independence and be able to provide for themselves, take care of their own needs. If they're on medicine, track their medicine, know how to get help, how to manage their bills, etc. And, really being able to thrive in that way. We all want that. I'm going to try to make this go down. Hold on here. So in community living, there are a lot of benefits, of course. Yeah, you want to be able to engage with the community and take advantage of what the community offers and select where you want to live, being close to work and school and groceries, etc. Being able to rely on public transportation if you're not driving and get to work and plan your day and all of the things which we tend to take for granted after a while, but it's a big learning curve for everybody. So the next steps that you need to think about, okay, let's say you're graduating high school, you need to think what's in my community, and you can check online, check with your social worker, any of your therapists if you're still working with therapists, your school psychologist might know things, your doctor. You can really look around, even if, for example, if you called a service that I've used before, for a place for mom, which is for seniors, senior citizens, they might be able to refer you to somebody else that they know. So widen your search. And if somebody says no, you can say, who else can I talk to find out who has what where. You're going to want to look at transitional options. So, like maybe a boarding care or a house that has some level of support that prepares your son or daughter to go out and be on their own, which is what we are looking for our 18-year-old right now. Is we know it for a fact that he'll need some support for a while. And it's okay. He doesn't have to be thrown out there not knowing what he's doing. And we're in that process. So I'm living it with you. Here we go. So community living is important, and you're thinking, why is that important? Most of us know, but it creates an opportunity, of course, to live in an inclusive way in a community. People do better if they're part of a group and able to socialize and engage and take care of themselves because, first of all, you get to learn things, but you feel competent. And feeling competent or like you know what you're doing is so good for you psychologically. And our sons and daughters, especially if they're higher level, they know they have autism by this time and they want to feel good about themselves. It really is going to help them take more risks if they think, gee, if I can do this, I can try something else. And community living provides those options in shopping, events, transportation, etc. Um, and most children, if they've gone to public school, have had some sense of community, unless they were very in a self-contained special ed. And your child might not be ready to change that yet, but you want to prepare them for doing that because, as we know, high school doesn't last forever. So, um, now, if you have a child that needs more support and needs a more restrictive environment, um, you'll need to continue looking and talking to the people I spoke to earlier and assessing those options. So if you go to, let's say, more of an institutional setting, how many people live there? What is the staffing like? So you see what's in your community. Talk to other parents of these adult children who might be living there. You're going to want to really check them out with, let's say, your state. You want to check them out, make sure that they have people there that know what they're doing, that they don't have a big staff turnover, for example, because that's keeps having to retrain people, and it's not good for your kids to have to deal with new faces all the time in that situation. So you could even start there and try to work your way up to a transitional. Okay. Talk to group managers of these homes in these restrictive environments too. Make sure that it's the right place, and this may be a tryout, and if it doesn't work, it's okay to move. So now there's other options. Children can live alone with one or two roommates, and it even be two roommates on the spectrum, one neurotypical, one not. It could be a group setting like a boarding care or transitional. And if you think your son and daughter can't live on his own without assistance, but lives to be in a more segregated housing, check out the kind of supports. And there's limits as to how many people might live there. So you're going to have to look a little bit, and it may be that your child can't live close to where you are. If those kind of housing arrangements aren't available, you may have to move them a little further from you. So keep that in mind as well. So how do you determine what's best? We're going to delve into that further in this series. Thinking about, is transitional housing needed to help your son and daughter live in a community environment? In our case, we know that will probably be needed initially. And you know that by how your child's functioning and getting around. For example, my son takes public transport and can plan that. He can't go really super fast and still needs reminders to get some basic things done, but gets them done. And I would be feeling like he would need a little help with those kinds of reminders, but he's learning to do that. But think about how it is. Do you have a son or daughter, for example, who, if they're out in the community, they may do something that's going to get them in trouble, say something or have an outburst that might get them, hurt with somebody. So keep that in mind for those needs, because we want people to be safe. Now, in a number of states, there is some government support through funding of housing. Some of these places only take private pay. And some of them have even units, though they'll be like full support and then transitional part of the same company. But there are states that will not pay for this kind of housing if the housing is too restrictive and segregated. So you're going to have to check that out, and we'll talk about that further. MyHana has a lot of supports on their website and a lot of workshops and community forums. You should check them out. I know I am. So if you share these needs with other people in the same boat, you can get ideas and they can help you because they're living it too. So thank you for joining us for this portion, the Introduction to Community Living After High School. And we're all on the journey together, and have a great day. Bye-bye.